There was a lot of times when I didn't understand what I was looking at. Because I couldn't read the boards in the same way. I wasn't experienced enough to. So it really was a process of Kamiyama-san saying to me, trust me. And it did, and it was always, can I just say, it was always bigger and more exciting and than I could have ever conceived myself.
Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, this is the Anime Effect. Each week we bring you interviews with amazing people from across the world of anime, from directors to actors to artists, and so much more to discuss their work and their anime faves. It's pop culture with an anime lens.
And not sure if you've heard, but a classic story was brought into the world of anime last week with the new Lord of the Rings anime film, Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. Hopefully I said that right. And today we get to bring you our conversation with the film's director, Kenji Kamiyama, and story creator Philippa Boyens. They shared why anime was the perfect medium for telling the story and how live action films actually inspired the movie, and a little bit more behind the scenes stuff we're going to crack into with them that you will not hear anywhere else. I'm your host, Leah President.
And it's me, back from Brazil. My Mr. Worldwide arc has ended. It's your boy, LeAlec Murray.
So yeah, you were jet setting last week, which is why we didn't have you on. You were in Brazil.
That's true.
Some of the just videos on social media that I saw of CCXP were awesome.
Crazy.
I saw a video of the cosplay contest that they held. Unreal. The level of production value that they put into the cosplay contest was insane. The fans really came out. How was your experience there?
It was great. But before we get to that, we want to see just how powerful the effect of anime really is. It was a great primer.
Oh my God.
It was a great primer. Thank you. CCXP was awesome. So if you put it in terms of Anime Expo, the turnstile, the guest count, surpasses it.
Wow,
easy.
Really?
Yes. But please check out CCXP, all the stuff we had going on. The Demon Slayer panel was packed to the gills. The Mappa panel was great. Solo leveling, Dr. Stone. So we had so much stuff. Our booth was great. It was super open. One thing that was different compared to AX is CCXP is building itself more off of experiences and experiential stuff that happens.
And there are experiences.
And there's a lot of experiences.
I've seen some videos and photos from the floor and so much FOMO. You guys look like you were having a blast.
It was great. One of my favorite activations outside of the giant Amazon booth. Amazon had just had this giant experiential booth. Fanta was a sponsor for the event.
Ooh,
Fanta, listen, y'all had to drag me out of Brazil because I was gonna drink every piece of.
What's your favorite flavor?
So I love Fanta melon.
Ooh,
but it's
a
flavor.
Tried that.
But it's a flavor you can't get here. It's only in Japan. But also the exclusive Fanta flavor that I had in Brazil was the Fanta Guarana. Listen, you would have to drag me out of that country. I was gonna take every piece of Fanta Guarana. just take it. Just take it.
I'm gonna
have to have somebody from the LATAM team send me some. But yeah, no.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I've seen. Yeah.
But
I might be able to hook you up. I think they sell this at the international market.
Stop it. Anyway,
I'm gonna come back with a case for you.
Here you go. Fanta had this great booth, and they had and it was built like the soda dispensers that you find in fast food restaurants, and it really reminded me of the old school Nickelodeon GAC dispensers that they would have during game shows when you would have to in Double Dare where you had to you had the bucket backpack and you had to push up against the GAC machine. Yeah, it was super cool. But no, it was fun. Again, thank you so much to the LATAM team. You guys are super awesome.
They're killing it.
I'm so excited to see what happens with CCXP Mexico, which is in May. And then again, what we do in Brazil.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see especially, thinking about the Anime Awards next year too. Oh my gosh, some of the LATAM voice acting is it just blows me away. I'm so excited to see who takes the cake for that category.
I am too. So one quick update, just a quick service note. Over the holidays, we will be re-releasing 2 fan favorite interviews because this is our last show for the year, which is crazy. But 46.1, 47.1 will be dropping on the feeds as well as our like specific holiday episodes. So please enjoy those. We are not leaving you anime effect-less over the holiday. So you'll still have us over Crimbo Limbo. So don't worry. Then we'll be back and in full effect in January. Next up is our conversation with Kenji Kamiyama and Philippa Boyens of Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. This was a great interview. Please stick around. You don't want to miss this. Yeah.
Hey guys, we're going to take a second to talk about our sponsor, ZocDoc, which is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment.
We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and so much more.
Look, guys, ZocDoc appointments happen fast and typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even get same-day appointments.
Listen, being an adult has its high points. Like, you know, you can eat whatever you want for breakfast, like ice cream. I've done it. Don't really recommend it, but you can do it. Or, you know, buying those figures you always want to buy.
But it's not all fun.
It's not, unfortunately.
You also have to do your taxes and figure out what's for dinner every freaking night and make doctor's appointments. Oh, but it's not really as intimidating as that when you have ZocDoc.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/anime to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. I've used it. It works. That's ZocDoc.com/anime. ZocDoc.com/anime.
We could not be more excited than to be here with Kenji Kamiyama sensei and Philippa Boyens, the director and story creator of the new Lord of the Rings anime film, Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. Just wow, this is an amazing moment. We are so excited to have you on. We have a question that we like to kick off to basically all of our guests, because of course we are Crunchyroll. We love anime here. So we were really excited to see this film. We want to know, what was your gateway anime or your gateway animation? What kind of got you into animation?
I always love hearing the answers for this question.
Oh, his is going to be way more interesting than mine.
アニメで言えば、日本の、とても有名な機動戦士ガンダムというアニメーションがあるんですけれど、それがきっかけなんですが、さらに言うと、僕はスター・ウォーズが12歳の時に公開されたんですけれど、僕はスター・ウォーズを作る人になりたいなと思ったんですね。で、日本では当時、ライブアクションムービーで SF 作品を作ることができる時代ではなかったので、その機動戦士ガンダムを見て、アニメーションだったら日本でスター・ウォーズみたいな作品を作ることができるんじゃないかなと思ったのがきっかけです。
Wow, that is so interesting. It's so true. Like being able to use animation to kind of get around, you know, some of the more technical aspects of the filmmaking. That's so cool. It makes a lot of sense.
I'm about to age myself, guys, quite badly. I think, I mean, obviously I grew up on all the Disney films, but one of the films that when I first, I think where I fell in love with animation and I remember sobbing was Watership Down.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Intense animation.
Yeah. So, and then in terms of anime, you know, I very much came to it from a Western perspective. So probably the first knowledge that I had of it or understanding of it was through the Miyazaki films. Interestingly, my kids grew up on a lot of anime, and now my youngest son, I realized once I started working with Kamiyama-san that my youngest son, who's 14, it's the background of his life is anime.
Yeah.
It's actually the only thing he watches. So, I suddenly realized I'd been absorbing it via osmosis,
Yep.
Hero Academia playing in the background while he's watching stuff, but I had a lot to learn. I did find that I had a lot to learn.
I've been watching anime all my life, and I feel like parents, even, more so now, because a lot of the newer generations, like you said, have it as such of a background that everybody's just kind of getting it as people are around. So, Philippa, you've co-written every Lord of the Rings film, the Hobbit film, and you even took part in the Lego Hobbit video game, which is fantastic.
We love it.
What's it like returning to the franchise, but in an animated medium?
It's actually felt incredibly familiar. And one of the things that I realized is that actually, in terms of writing a script, in terms of finding the story, it's pretty much the same for, an anime film as it is for a live action film. There wasn't that many differences. Kamiyama-san is a writer himself, so it was actually really easy to work with him in terms of finding the story. He's got great storytelling instincts, so I didn't actually find it that different. It wasn't until we came to sort of that's in the broad landscape of finding the shape of the film. Initially, when you're looking at the broad landscape of what the film is going to be and finding the structure of the story, not very different. I think, especially traditionally in anime films, maybe they demand a little more of the audience, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not going to just lay everything out, which I think is a good thing. I think that, we have a tendency sometimes in the Western tradition of telling, especially animation, where you're trying to tell people what to feel.
Yes.
And then it's very against what a great anime does. They the characters are the characters, and you need to come to them a little bit more, which I think, again, is really interesting and really intriguing. In a funny way, I think it draws you into the film in a deeper way than just sort of laying everything out with sugar coating on it, if that makes sense. So there's that side of it, but there's also an understanding that, okay, the storytelling is going to have a different pace to it, perhaps than the intercut that you do with a live action, and beginning to understand the rhythm of Kamiyama-san's filmmaking was actually fantastic to watch. There was a lot of times when I didn't understand what I was looking at, because I couldn't read the boards in the same way. I wasn't experienced enough to. So it really was a process of Kamiyama-san saying to me, trust me. And it was always, can I just say, it was always bigger and more exciting than I could have ever conceived myself.
よかったです。ほっとしました。そう思っていただけて。
But that's So, sort of on the other side of that coin, I have a question for you, Kamiyama-san. You worked on titles that I know our audience knows are iconic: Ghost in the Shell, Cyborg 009, Eden of the East. So how did your approach change as you sort of entered into this sort of beloved film franchise?
はい、僕は過去の作品も含めて、もちろんアニメーションを作ってるんだけれども、僕の頭の中でのイメージっていうのは、ゴールは実写映画なんですね。僕は必ず実写映画をイメージしてアニメーションを作ってきたので、なんていうのかな。絵で描かれたものなんだけど、実写映画のようなリアリティを感じられるものっていうのを作りたいと思って作ってきたんですね。でもアニメってどこまで頑張ってもリアルにはならないので、そこがある種 こう僕のアニメーションのスタイルになった部分だと思うんです。なんか実写っぽいアニメっていうかね。ただ今回はロード・オブ・ザ・リングはすでに実写がピーター・ジャクソン監督が撮った3部作プラスホビットのシリーズもあるので、実はもうゴールが実際にあるんですよね。そうするとやっぱり見てる人たちは、そこにゴールがあるから、それと同じことをすることはやっぱりできなくって、じゃあ今までとちょっと違うアプローチをしなければいけないなと思っていたんですね。で、よりアニメーションに、こう、リアリティを感じてもらうために、実際映画で使ったプロップであるとか、この美術の設定であるとかを借りて、ホンブルグ城であれば、そこに立っている人間のサイズとかを実写と同じサイズに合わせて作ってるんですね。で、そこにさらに実写の撮影のようにカメラを置いて、レンズは何ミリにしようとか、そこに対しての照明であるとかっていうのを、アンリアルエンジンというゲームエンジンを使って、一旦それを再現してから、今回はアニメーションにしているので、よりこう実写的なアプローチをして作ったアニメになっています。
Yeah, I just have to say that is entirely evident when I was watching the film, particularly the use of light and some of these amazing, like dramatically lit scenes. Some of the most, I think, like really impressive sort of, I want to say cinematography, but I guess animation. And as you mentioned, sort of grasping at that sort of that feeling like we're watching a camera follow these characters, and it kind of makes it this uncanny space. That was so evident in my watching experience. So it's so cool to hear how much care went into that sort of process. Obviously, we are sort of transported in time in this new addition to the Lord of the Rings universe. We go, a couple hundred years back from, the story of the Fellowship. And, we see some characters collecting rings and sort of like that stage being set. What I want to know is, why do you feel that this was the time to tell that story and to, bring these characters to life?
So actually what happened was the form came first and then the story followed. So we had been approached to do an animated film around 2019. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, so we hadn't, we weren't against the idea at all. It was an intriguing idea. Peter has always been a huge fan of animation, as you can imagine. He knew he didn't want to direct it himself necessarily. And, we've literally spent a few years kind of sort of thinking, okay, what form of animation and then also what story, and nothing kind of meshed for a while. And it wasn't actually until someone suggested anime and the great Kenji Kamiyama that this story immediately jumped into my mind. And it was like, it suddenly was like, wait, I think I know what could work.
It just clicked.
It did. It really did. I had this sort of instinct that the culture of the Rohirrim would fit naturally within this world. The nested layers of, especially within the great tradition of Japanese storytelling, those layers of honor and loyalty, but also of a flawed, heroic central character who overreaches maybe in his own belief in himself. All of those sorts of things felt like they would sit there really beautifully within that tradition of Japanese storytelling. Also, the idea that it's also deals with, okay, we start the story quite epically, and actually the largest piece, the largest battle is at the end of the first act, which you wouldn't normally do, traditionally in a 3-act structured normal formulaic piece of storytelling, you wouldn't have your biggest battle at the end of your first act. And for some storytellers, I think they would find that daunting. Actually, Kamiyama-san relished that idea. He relished the nature and the way in which the story shifted and changed. And now we were dealing with the wreckage of war, which again, to me, felt like it was going to speak really well to that tradition of Japanese storytelling. You know, it's almost changes and becomes more intense and claustrophobic, and even brings in an element which I know Kamiyama-san relished of like the supernatural, that almost ghost story kind of vibe coming into it, meant that it could feel very different to the live action films that went before, but at the same time feeling familiar because of the environments that you were setting it in. For me, that's where that was coming from, and what felt right about it.
選んだ理由は、フィリッパさんが喋ったことだと思うんですけど、そのアイデアをいただいたときに、名もなき、ヘルムハムハンドの娘っていうのが、原作でも一番最初にダンレンディングから結婚を申し込まれるんだけど、お父さんが断ったっていうのが一番冒頭にあるんですけど、その名もなき娘を主人公にしようっていうね、アイデアをフィリッパからもらったときに、急にこう、世界がうわって大きく広がったんですよね。ヘルムだけの話だと、どうしても今言ったような合戦であるとか、彼が力を過信することで国が滅びてしまう。これも素晴らしいストーリーなんだけど、それだけだと、一本の映画として、広がっていかない可能性があったのを、やっぱりヘラっていうキャラクターを生み出してくれたことで、さらに僕も世界観が広がっていって、どうこの物語を膨らませていけばいいかっていうのは、ヘラというキャラクターをやっぱり生み出した瞬間にできたことだと思いますね。なので、本当にそこがこの映画のオリジナリティであり、一番核になった部分なんじゃないかなと思います。なんかそこを生み出してくれたことにすごく感謝します。
Wow, yeah, it's a great answer.
Thank you, guys.
Kamiyama-san, Philippa, thank you so much for joining us on the Anime Effect. You guys.
Privilege.
I honestly, like, that was great. I wish we had more time. Like, I really wish that, like, because they gave such great answers, like incredible answers to what bringing Lord of the Rings into anime really means. And how
it's quite a venture.
Yeah.
But the thing is that there was a lot of nostalgia, like the openings, like you and I, we got to see it ahead of time. We had like a screener so that we could prepare for the interview. And there was like a lot of the original music and like great. The vibe of the shots. And I know we talk about this in the interview. It does bring a lot of nostalgia. So if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, give it a try.
Yeah. Check it out. All right. You know what time it is. I've missed this so much. It is time for recommendations. All right. From Kevin, via our question form. With the holidays here, what series would you recommend to watch with the family? I can only recommend Spy Family Code White so much.
Yes.
Spy Family. All the Spy Family. All day long.
The Spy Family, of course. That's like an easy way. Like, because anybody can watch it. It's so accessible. But kind of moving away from Spy Family.
Move away from Spy Family.
Well, first, here's the thing. I do want to take the opportunity to find out what your favorite, just like general Christmas movie is.
Oh, my favorite general? Why you got to do this to me, man?
And then we'll get into the whole anime.
Okay. So my favorite Christmas movie, probably, it probably still has to be The Santa Claus. Like,
okay, yeah.
The 1994 Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole, like, just the whole Santa Claus, like, in general. Like, I love that series. But what about you? What's your favorite one?
Here's the thing, like, it can also be considered like a Halloween movie because it's like a scary movie, but it's like silly, which is Gremlins.
Oh,
because it takes place at Christmas, and they take over the town at Christmas and like cause like a bunch of mayhem.
I get what you're putting down.
So I'm definitely going to say either Gremlins or Jim Carrey's Grinch. I like quote it all the time. Like in the past,
Jim Carrey's Grinch is incredible.
I always am like, can't do it. Not today. Like I'd be quoting it. But yeah, as far as anime, what do you think they should watch with the family this season?
This is and we recommend this all the time, and I hate to do it, but Bocchi the Rock or Ranking of Kings, like both of those are incredible series.
Yeah.
And shout out to Nick because, Nick loves Ranking of Kings and Bocchi.
Yeah. I love the soundtracks.
Yeah, they're so like the soundtracks for them are phenomenal. And both of them have really, really great stories and characters. So if you're looking for something that can, be fun that you can watch with the family, then those are definitely going to be two. And we keep recommending them because they're great.
Because they're good.
Because they're good.
Next.
Yeah, next. And then, if you do want some general like Christmas content, there's one on Netflix called Klaus. Incredible. I watch it every year. J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus in this one.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Incredible movie. And then Rise of the Guardians. It's super awesome. Like Rise of the Guardians has just become one that's like become just a holiday like tradition like in my family. So those are some holiday ones, and then some anime.
Yeah.
There you go. Best of both worlds.
I would say like for anime for me to watch with family, if you are wanting just like something fun to put on, like silly, sweet, I would say Buddy Daddies. That's one of my favorites. Also, there's an anime film that does take place, like it has a lot of themes that are like Christmas themed. Like there's a whole sort of like, I don't want to spoil it, but it takes place like around Christmas time for a chunk of the movie, and it is a tearjerker. So if you're wanting something like a heartwarming, like sweet love story that has a little bit of tragedy, but then it comes up on a really hopeful note, ride your wave.
Oh yeah, you talked about this before.
I have. Like it's so sweet. Nothing brings me to tears like faster, but like there's like this scene where they go to see like this big Christmas tree that's like, it's like lights inside of this big, giant, tall building. And yeah, so it takes place like in the Christmas spirit. And it has a lot of like Christmas elements. I wouldn't say it's like a strictly Christmas movie, but
it's very holiday.
The beginning
vibey.
And the end, like it takes place over the span of a year. So
that's cool.
Yeah. And then I would also say this is one that I know my family, every time we get together to see movies, we go see like thrillers or like very like heart racing action. So last time I was with my family, I made my mom watch The Promised Neverland season 1. Because she loves like true crime, thrillers, like escape movies. So it's not like what I would say is like a traditional recommendation for like a family pick, because it does have some dark themes.
It's dark.
But I know my family personally, like they're not, other than my sister and I, there's not a bunch of huge anime watchers.
Yeah.
So something I think could like capture their attention in a really short amount of time, because as we know, the end of that first episode is like, whoa, what's going to happen next?
The cliffhanger.
So I think that'd be a great way to like get the family in on like something that's a little bit more like heart pounding.
Yeah, get you some holiday cheer and some grimdark in your life.
Especially since it's a Nosferatu Christmas this year. Like it's literally coming out on Christmas, so you like. That's crazy. I feel like the vibes are a little looser. You can watch a scary movie on Christmas.
Well, and Sonic a couple days before that. Like
yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Hopefully that helps you out. We have some other recommendations from people. Cole, via our question form. I highly recommend Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? The series isn't truly what the title suggests. The world building, the leveling, the pacing are great. The soundtrack, fight choreography, the sound effects are all top notch.
Ooh.
Some of the best I've seen, honestly. Oh, that's very high praise. Only drawback is the MC can be dense most of the time. He is very dense, but his story is motivating.
Yes. We love our dense MCs.
I actually I only got to watch the first season of this one, and I absolutely loved it. So I definitely agree with you there, Cole. Leah, do you want to take the next one?
Yes. This one comes from Ryu. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Ryu or Ryu? They say Hokkaido gals are super adorable is a must.
That's a good one.
Yes. They say it looks like the kind of basic rom-com there is everywhere, but it has something better. I don't know how to explain it, but Def should make it season 2. I have been meaning to watch Hokkaido gals, especially because I love like gal anime or like anime that have like Yaru characters or like gal characters. So definitely we'll check it out.
This was actually one of my titles that I worked on I guess 2 seasons ago. And it's actually pretty fun. So it's also gets a recommendation from me.
And they also add to the end that their favorite anime is Friedman.
Let's go.
They have elite taste. They say it's a banger, like the best of the best. And really I have to agree with you.
It's incredible. Thank you guys for your recs. Hopefully that will ping for people that haven't watched either of those. But you know what is coming. Mailbag! Okay, so enter the mailman in his Santa getup and just drop letters on the table. Okay, John, VR question form.
Hello, John.
Since the holidays are upon us, would you consider Gundam Endless Waltz a Christmas movie? Also says, love the podcast. You're doing an amazing job. Yes, that's a Philadelphia word. So let me get this right. Hold on, let me go back.
Yins?
Love the podcast Yins is doing. Yins is doing an amazing job. So I'm sorry if there's anybody from Pittsburgh and I'm totally messing that up. I'm a middle of the map Midwest kid and all of our lingo is just a weird crock pot of everybody else's. So to answer your first question, or your only question, I guess, Endless Waltz, yes, I consider it a Christmas movie in the same way that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I think was it Batman Returns is a Christmas movie? Yeah, so let's go with that. I think it is.
Yes.
If it happens in a Christmas time and Christmas is kind of like the central theme.
Like Gremlins.
Like Gremlins, yeah. Like if it has the backdrop of Christmas, you consider it a Christmas movie.
Also, I have to interject because I looked up Yins and I found this map that's like... I'll try to describe it. Hopefully you can see it on the camera.
Maybe.
Basically, it's a map of the U.S. And like everywhere below like southern Illinois is y'all. Everywhere above and to the west is you guys. And then there's one little dot on the map for Yins.
For Yins. I guess I'll find a way to add Yins now.
Yeah, it literally says when you Google it, a second person plural noun used in Western Pennsylvania English. Wow. So it really is just a Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
That's great. Learn something new every day.
Wow. Thank you for teaching us that.
Yeah, thank you, John. Also, we have a Steelers-Chiefs matchup coming up on Christmas, sir. We will tap in. We're gonna.
Is that football?
It's football. We might have some trash talk happening, but I'm ready. We're ready.
Yins is ready.
Yins.
I don't know if that's.
I don't know if we use it correct. All right. Thank you so much for writing in, John. Anybody else, if you have a question, if you have recommendations, or if you just want to write to us, say what's up.
What's up?
What's up? You can.
What's up?
Yes. You can do it a multitude of different ways. Hit us on Spotify, please. Leave the little comments and such. Leave the comments on the YouTube and go to got.cr/anime effect questions. Again, that is got.cr/anime effect questions. Leah, how about you take us out?
Yes, I will take us out, but first I do want to say one thing, and I purposely left this for the end of the show because I didn't want anybody who might judge me to be around at the end. But I am currently so just devastated by the end of Arcane. or at least the end of this season of Arcane.
I think it's the last one. There's not
So
coming
if
back.
you have any good JVIC fan fiction, send it my way because I'm devastated and I need more content. So
I got a lot of animation to watch over the break.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Arcane. I haven't done Gentry Child yet. The backlog is real. Is real. So I may not even be watching anime over the holiday. That's a lie.
yeah, I just need more content for my fruity lover boys because I just finished another Baldur's Gate playthrough where I romance a Starion.
Okay.
Don't tell Neil.
Shout out.
And then finishing Arcane, I'm just so devastated by the Jace Victor plotline. So anyway, send it to me. But yeah, so I'll take us out. Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Anime Effect, brought to you by Crunchyroll and Sony Music Entertainment. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
The Anime Effect is hosted by me, LeAlec Murray, Leah President, and Nicholas Friedman. The countdown is on, sir. He will be back very, 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 very soon.
I can't believe we didn't get a mannequin of some kind,
we should've.
or a haunted doll.
Missed opportunity. We are executive produced by Jonathan Hirsch, Jonah Clay, and Papa Nicholas Friedman. Our lead producer is Kyla Carnero. Our associate producer is Zoe Culkin. Vince Garza filmed and Zaki Peltz edited the video. Our head of production is Sammy Allison. Special thanks to Carla Celarzano and Tamika Balance-Kolasny.
We will be back next week with even more anime, of course, and some of those interviews for you and a little bit of holiday content.
Some holiday cheer for your Crimbo Limbo.
For New Year's and Christmas Eve. So look out for those.
All right, guys. Until the new year, later days, there's nothing you can do about it. Remember it over the holiday. Just repeat it to yourself. There's nothing you can do about it. the sign off. All right, guys. Thank you. Later days.